Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I will be teaching and showing you how to make yet another summery and beginner friendly pattern, and this time I will be teaching you how to make this super cute and simple crochet bandana. And within this video you will not only learn how to make a bandana, but you will also learn how to crochet a triangle. So within this tutorial you will get 2 in 1. And as always, I have made sure that I'm going into as much detail as I can with every single stitch and every single step to make sure that everyone is able to replicate this project, as well as I can promise you that this is one of the simplest projects out there. Stitches and steps are very easy and very simple, so everyone will be able to follow this project, as well as it's a good starting point, especially if you're a beginner in your crochet journey. So without further ado, let's get started. Here are the materials that I will be using for this project. So here I have some cotton yarn, which is 4-ply, and if you're interested, here are some more specs just in case. And for this project I will need approximately 25 grams, but it really depends on the size you are going for. And of course you will also need a crochet hook. I will be using 3.5mm hook, and you will also need scissors. So now let's get into it. So our first step is to create a magic ring, and for that, this is the method that I'm using. I'm basically taking this yarn and then tying around my fingers like this to kind of create an X shape here, then grabbing my crochet hook and going underneath the first piece of yarn, and then grabbing the second one and pulling it through to create a loop on our hook. So this is kind of the ring that we want. And now we can get started with working on the first stitches. And before that, we have to chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3. So with this chain of 3, it's more secure in terms of this magic ring, as well as we have created our first stitch. So in this case, and also throughout this project, chain of 3 is going to count as 1 double crochet. So this is basically our first stitch, and now we can proceed further with the following ones. And throughout all of these stitches, this will basically count as our first round. So let's get started. Since this counts already as 1 stitch, now it's left for us to do 2 double crochets inside this magic ring for this step. So to do a double crochet, you have to yarn over and then go through the magic ring, grab yarn and pull it up to have 3 loops on your hook, then yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over again and pull through remaining 2, like this. So this is 1 double crochet. And now let's add another one. So again, yarning over, going through the magic ring, grabbing yarn and pulling up to have 3 loops, yarning over and going through 2, yarning over and going through 2. So like this. Here we have basically 3 double crochets, and then the next step is to chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And then we can proceed with the next step, and for that we have to do another 3 double crochets inside this magic ring. So let's do that. I'm starting to work on the first one. So this is 1, then second and third, like this. So basically now our first row is finalized, and with that we can also close this magic ring. So to do that, all you have to do is just pull this loose piece of yarn that we have here, and as you can see, as you are pulling it, the ring is closing as well. So when you close it, make sure that you tighten it as much as possible, like this. So now we have tightened it, and this counts as our first row. So now we can proceed with the second one, and to start you just have to chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3. With that we can turn our work, and this chain of 3 counts as 1 double crochet. So our next step is to do 2 double crochets inside this very first stitch that we have here. So this is 1 and another one, like this. So technically this counts as 3 double crochets, And then our next step is here in this top of the triangle. So in there we are going to add again 3 double crochets. So this is 1, then adding another 1, 2, and then the third one, like this. So now we have finalized half, and then since this is the top of the triangle, we have to chain 3 again. So 1, 2, and 3. And now we can finalize this very top, and for that we are doing again 3 double crochets inside this very same space. So 1, 2, and 3. This is how it looks so far, and then it's just last step for this second row. So for that we are going to do again 3 double crochets on top of this chain of 3 that we have here in the very beginning. So I'm just yarning over, going through this stitch and doing 3 double crochets in there. So that was 1, 2, and 3, like this. So now round 2 is finalized, and we can start working on the third one. So from now on, basically everything is going to pretty much repeat as we did during the second round. So in these gaps you just have to do 3 double crochets, and once you get to the very top, that's where you're going to do 3 double crochets, chain of 3, and 3 double crochets again. And in the very beginning you have to chain 3, then turn your work and do 2 double crochets in the very stitch. So let's just do another round together, and from then on it's pretty much the same. So first we are chaining 3, 1, 2, and 3, and it counts as 1 double crochet. And then in the very first stitch we are doing 2 double crochets together in the same space. So 1 and 2. So here in total we technically have 3 stitches. Then we are proceeding with this gap that we have here, and that's where we are adding also 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3, like that. And then we have reached this tip. So as I said, we are doing 3 double crochets as first step. So 1, 2, and 3. Then we are chaining 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then we are doing another 3 double crochets inside the same space. So that's 1, then adding another 1, and then adding the third one, like that. So this is how the top of the third round or third row looks like. And then we are just moving further with this next space here, also adding 3 double crochets in there. So 1, 2, and 3. And then we just have this very last step for this row. So again, doing 3 double crochets on top of this chain of 3 that we did in the very beginning on the other side. So I have 1, doing another 1, and then also doing the third one. So this is how it looks when row 3 is finalized, and from now on it's going to be very repetitive. So basically all you have to do is repeat this third row for about 15 to 20 times, and feel free to measure the sizing to make sure that it fits you. You are more than welcome to add more or even remove it if you feel like it fits you better. The main point is kind of to create a bandana that fits your size and goes underneath your ears. So let's continue adding some more rows until we have between 15 to 20 in total, and once that's done I will meet you back again and I will show you the next steps. Here I have completed 16 rows in total, so now we can proceed with the next steps, and for that I will basically be adding a border all around as well as straps here on both sides, and I will show you how to do that. So let's start with creating the border starting from this side here. So for the border, I will basically be adding like a wavy edge on all the way around. And for that, again, we will be just using double crochets as well as single crochets as the main stitches. So let's start doing that. And without doing any additional stitches here, we will start by doing 5 double crochets inside this space. So let's do that. So I'm just creating the first one. This is the second, third, and fourth and fifth one, like this. As you can see, it creates like a nice shelly shape. And then in the next gap we have to do 1 single crochet. So for that, just going through this gap here, grabbing yarn and pulling up to have 2 loops, then yarning over and pulling through both of them like that. And now we have kind of like finalized this shell here, so we can move further with the next one. And in this gap again, we are adding 5 double crochet stitches all together in the same space. So I'm already starting to work on them in here. This is the third one that I'm completing, fourth and fifth. Like this. As you can see, another shell there, and then in the following space again 1 single crochet. And this is the process that we have to do for this side. So I'm just proceeding with the next one and doing 5 double crochets inside here, and then again in the following one it would be 1 single crochet. So I have completed another one here like this. In the next one, adding single crochet, so it kind of holds it there, and then proceeding again with the following shell so we can finish this pattern on this side. So this is how it looks so far, and all you have to do is just repeat these stitches and these steps all the way until you reach this top of the triangle here, and I will meet you back again there to show you what you're supposed to do then. So here I have completed all the way through this side, and I have reached this tip of the triangle. So now we first have to do 1 single crochet here like this, and then the next step is to add 3 double crochets, so very similar to the previous steps. So this is one, adding the second one right after, and then also the third one here like this. Once we have 3 double crochets, again we are just doing 1 single crochet in the same space like that. So this is how our top of the bandana or this triangle is supposed to look. And then again on this side we are just repeating everything we did before. So starting with 5 double crochets inside the first one. This is 5, so in the next space here again single crochet and 5 double crochets again in the following. So this is how it looks so far, and all you have to do is again to just repeat these same stitches all the way through until you reach the edge here. And important thing is to just track to make sure that everything is the same on both sides, kind of like a mirror effect, and you don't have any weird discrepancies or anything like that. So just keep on doing these stitches, and I will meet you back again once we are here to show you the next steps for adding straps for this bandana. Here I have finished also this side, and I have reached the end here. So we just have to finalize this by doing 1 single crochet on the top of the third chain from this side. So just doing a single crochet here, and now we are officially done. So we can start working on adding strap first on this side, and then we will also reach the other side. So for that we first have to chain 50, so let's start doing that. And if you want, feel free to chain even more to create these straps longer. It's totally up to you, and you can easily make them much longer than just 50 chains. So here are all 50 chains ready, and as I said, feel free to create them longer or shorter, it's totally up to you. But now we can start working on finalizing the strap on this side. So for that, what we're gonna do is we will just do single crochets all the way back. And to get started with that, we first have to skip the final chain that we have here, and in the following one we are starting to work our single crochets. So just go through the chain that we have here, grab yarn, pull it up to have 2 loops, and complete it by pulling through both loops. So just keep on doing that all the way back until you reach the very beginning. So here I have done single crochets all the way through to finalize this strap, and now we have reached this bottom border, so we will have to start working on this. And for that, it's totally up to you what kind of stitch you want to use. You can easily also use these Shelly stitches to also create a similar border on this side. However, for my case, I will just be doing single crochets. So all you have to do is just go through stitches on this side and do single crochets here. As you can notice, we don't have like proper stitches as we did on this side. So what I'm doing is that I'm basically adding 1 to 2 single crochets on each side of each row. So I'm trying to kind of spread them out evenly to ensure that it's not too crowded or not too many gaps with this. But yeah, basically it's 1 to 2 single crochets on top of every single row from this side. So just make sure to follow that to ensure that you are adding enough stitches, as well as that it's kind of like evenly spread out throughout this side. And once again, just keep on doing this, and I will meet you back later once we can start working on the other strap on the other side. And here I have reached very middle basically of this bandana, and as you know, we here have this loose piece of yarn. So actually, as we are starting to work on the other side, we can now also weave in this loose piece of yarn as we go and kind of hide it underneath the single crochet stitches. So what I'm doing is that whenever I'm doing a stitch, I'm making sure that it's kind of hidden underneath and doing my stitches over this loose piece of yarn to hide it underneath there, so we don't have to weave it in later on. And it's basically the same process, you're just saving time for yourself later on, so you don't have to do it afterwards. So as you can see, I'm hiding it as I'm doing my stitches, and it's also not visible on the other side either, so it's super nice and super neat. And just keep on doing this side, and I will meet you back once it's done. Here I have completed the whole bottom border, as you can see, and now we have reached this side. So again, we just have to add another strap on the other side, and just as before, I'm going to chain 50, and if you did different amount of chains, make sure that it's equal on both sides. And once that's done, we will again do single crochets all the way back. Here I have done all 50 chains, so again starting to work my way back, first skipping 1 chain, and then in the following starting to do all of my single crochet stitches all the way through to complete it until the very end of this strap. Here is the strap finalized also on the other side, so now we can actually finish off this project. And what we have to do is basically to connect this strap to the main part. As you can see, it is a little bit disconnected, so for that we are going to do a slip stitch. And we will do it here in this very first stitch or space. So for that, I'm just going through this space here, grabbing yarn and pulling it up, and then pulling this loop through the loop that we already had on our hook before, like this. As you can see, now it's smoothly connected. And now we can finish off for real. So for that, we are just chaining 1, then making the loop a little bit longer, then grabbing our scissors and cutting off yarn like this.
And as it's cut off, we can tighten it just by pulling this loose piece of yarn here, like that. So now we are basically done with our bandana. The only last step is to just weave in this loose piece of yarn that we just created. So for that, I'm just going to use my crochet hook and loop it or weave it through random stitches on the back side, wherever you feel like it is the best. So I'm just doing that now. As you can see, I'm just pulling it through stitches and to kind of hide it on the back side so it's not that visible and it's not hanging anywhere on the front. And this is how it looks once it's weaved in. You basically cannot see it. And now also our bandana is finalized, and this is how it looks. As you can see, we have created a super nice and wavy shell border, as well as we have these nice straps on both sides. And this is how it looks on me. I'm super happy with this final creation and how it turned out, as well as I really enjoyed this shelly border. It gives a very summery look and design for this bandana.
So that was it for me today. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that this pattern is going to be useful for you in case you're looking for some summery crochet creations. Within this project, feel free to mix and match colors to create some more fun patterns, as well as you're more than welcome to adjust and use different stitches as well to add a little bit of spice for this bandana. And otherwise, it's totally up to you how you want to create it. And if you have any questions, as always, feel free to reach out in the comment section below and I will try to help you from there. And if you manage to replicate this bandana, please share it with me. I would be super happy to see your creations and to see what you are doing and how you are making them, and if you have come up with something fun. And if you did enjoy this video, please give me big thumbs up, and if you're new here, please subscribe, and I will see you later. Bye!